What is up, guys? This is Olinthio coming at you with a brand new deck profile of my Masked Hero deck. Now, one of the first deck profiles I ever did on my channel was a Fusion Gate hero profile, and this is the second time I've profiled heroes on this channel. It's crazy. One of the first things was heroes. So since the new Masked Hero support has come out and the structure deck has come out, I thought, hey, I will do a deck profile for you guys. Now, I'll say off the bat, this is one of the most budget decks I've ever had on my channel, bar 2 cards, which you'll see. But yeah, so we'll go straight into it. Start it off, we have the main guy, the new guy. We have Shadow Mist. Card's great, it gets the deck completely running, and you just revolve around this guy. You special summon him to get the mass change cards to your hand, and when he is sent to the grave, you get a hero other than himself from the deck to the hand. Now, you can only activate one of the effects once per turn, so if it dies in your turn and you try and, or if it dies in your opponent's turn, you try and call the haunt at it, you can only use one of the effects. So it's very important to remember that, but it's an absolutely great card, really, really helps, and basically it's him and Darklaw just really hurt. 2, Bubbleman. So this is in here obviously because you can do some pretty explosive plays. I play a fair few traps and spells and not a lot of monsters because that's how heroes should be run, really, depending on what build, but things like this should only have a low monster count, and I run 2 Bubbleman because of that. I only run 2 because it's cloggy at 3. It's really cloggy at 3, and you don't want to see multiples of it in your hand, and especially when you can search it out with a million cards in this deck, including Shadow Mist. So it's needed. The one Alias, it's here for Koga plays, and just in general, it's a nice beat stick. It gets around a lot of different things. It just gives you an extra hero name, so yeah. So that's basically all the heroes. There are only 6. Going on to the other cards, we have 2 Summoner Monk. Because we play so many spells, which you're going to see, Summoner Monk's great. Has great synergy with Shadow Mist, because once you search him out by special summoning, you can search out a mass change card and then instantly go into a Darklaw. So yeah, Summoner Monk's really solid in this deck. And speaking of another card that's solid, Goplinberg. So you can either run this, or you can either run Tinplate Goldfish. And the reason why I run this is for Dian access. So it's basically, Tinplate Goldfish is a water, and I already have acid access, so I don't really need another form of acid access. So Goplinberg just gives me a little bit of kind of flexibility in the cards that I can actually access from the extra deck. So it works well to Goplinberg. So that's the only monsters I actually run. I think it's 10 monsters in total. Going on to the spells, we have the 3 mass change. Now, I run 3 mass change and 1 mass change the second. Reason being is you don't need mass change the second in heroes, really. This is the card you need. This is the main one that you'll always be searching, really, and everything like that. The reason why mass change the second is in here is for Goplinberg, and it's also for Summoner Monk. So if you special summon out the Mist and you already have a mass change in hand, maybe you can go for the mass change second. So then you can actually get out a Dian or another Darklaw, or whichever you so wish. The reason why I'm basically running it at 1 is because of that. There's no reason to run it any higher, in my opinion, because it's just a waste. You have to discard a card with, obviously, mass change the second. And with the deck, you know, it can keep up some form of hand advantage, but you'll normally vomit onto the field. There's not a lot of cards that are going to be left in your hand, and you really want to save mass change the second for something to try and bait your opponent out. You know, you can always snatch steal one of your opponent's cards and mass change the second that. So yeah, but mass change, the original, let's say, is the one that you run at 3. 3 Hero Lives. Great top deck card. It really is. And you might think 3 might be a bit excessive, but you really want to get to Darklaw first turn as soon as possible, really. That's the whole point of the deck currently. And Hero Lives allows you to do that. Now, it doesn't mean that I straight away, if I'm going first, do Hero Lives down to 4k. Because that isn't really an optimum play unless you know what you're going against. If you're going against Burning Abyss or something like that, you might want to consider it. But a lot of the time, you should be able to access Shadow Mist in other ways. But Hero Lives is just one of those great cards that you just need to run. You can run 2 if you really want, and 1 I think is just too small. You will not see it enough. Rota's in here because every single card in the deck for all the monsters are warriors, so it's stupid not to run this card. Even the Goplinberg. Oh, in fact, sorry, no, the Summoner Monks aren't, they're spellcasters, but you get what I mean. God, if Summoner Monk was a A warrior. Oh dear, that would be crazy. 3 MST, back row, we don't want anything like that to happen, so that's why we have 3 MST. Don't really need to discuss MST this format. You know, if you go up against a deck that doesn't use a lot of back row, you can just side them out. 2 Mask Charge. Now, this card I really, really like, and a lot of people aren't even running it, or they're just running it at 1, which is fine. But this just gives the deck an incredible top decking purpose and ability. So you top deck this, and you've got a Mass Change and like a Shadow Mist Engrave. It's a 1 card Darklaw, and any others as well. So I really like Mass Charge. It's a really solid card, and I don't think it's actually dead at all, because even if you draw it first turn, it just means you can be a little bit wasteful with the plays that you're going to do, because you know that you can just get them all back. So really, really solid card. 1 Emergency Call. You don't need to run any more than 1, in my personal opinion, because you have so many ways to search out the cards that it's only 1. You don't even really need to run this, but I actually like having it in there because, you know, you can do some different plays with it, and it's just nice to have. The 1 Miracle Fusion, I don't run any more than 1 because I don't really have any other heroes in my extra deck. It's only Mass Change because this is a Mass Change deck. If Stratos was back, it might be a different thing, but you only need 1 Miracle Fusion in my opinion, and it's just such a great card. Then the staples, we have just the 1 Raigeki and the 1 Snatch Steal because this card is stupid. So going on to the traps, we have 3 Call the Haunted just to get those Shadow Mist plays live, to get those Mass Changes into your hand as quick as possible. You can run Oasis if you so want, but the reason why you might not want to run Oasis is that the fact that you will change it to a worm type monster, and that's just not that great, to be honest, because you know you do want to see your warriors there for any warrior Xyz you might play. 2 Vanities. Now this is the non-budget card, so do forgive me, but Vanities is in here just because of the control aspect. And it's a really solid card. Vanities is just great this format. It screws over so many people, and even in the mirror, you can just do it when they mass change and different things like that, and they just waste cards. 2 Mirror Force, stop any all-out Floodgate decks, and it's just great with Darklaw because you got Darklaw in this set, and they attack into it. You're just like, well, a lot of your monsters are now going to die. So Mirror Force, really, really solid card. 2 Fiendish Chain. Fiendish Chain's great. It's just, you know, a little bit of a control aspect of the deck, so Fiendish Chain's just really, really nice. And then the 1 Obs, we have the 1 Bottomless, and finally we have the 1 Compulsory Evacuation Device. Out of all the cards, there is only very, very few that aren't from the structure deck, and that's what I was going for. I wanted to make it as budget as possible for you guys to see that you can actually build a competitive hero deck just from the, you know, just from the extra structure deck that comes out. So going on to the extra deck, we have the standard 3 Darklaw. This is the main guy that you're going to be going into. The card's just so good. Even against decks that, you know, might not rely on the graveyard, he's still really amazing. In the mirror, this card's really good because it just stops your opponent from adding cards to your hand, really, because you just keep banishing them. So Darklaw is an incredible card. I'm really glad the actual card came out. A lot of people really hate it and say that it's really overpowered. While I wouldn't say it's overpowered, it's just a really solid card and a really good card that Heroes kind of needed, if I'm honest. 2 Acid. I really, really love this card. The amount of plays you can do with it and catch your opponent off guard are just so good. If your opponent, like, you know, even if they Torrential Tribute on the summon of a Bubbleman, or, you know, when you're trying to go into a rank 4, you can just kind of trade off by getting rid of their back row. So it's really, really solid. I really do like Acid. I think it's a great card. This card's more expensive now because it was only in 1 set. I think 1 tin set, whatever that was. And it hasn't actually been reprinted anything else, so it's quite difficult to get. But, you know, you kind of need it. You can just run it at 1 if you so wish, but I like going into it in 2 because it's just abusable beyond belief. The 1 Dian, great card, really nice because you can have great synergy with Shadow Mist by bringing it back, and the stats on it are just incredible. 2-8 and 3k defense, just wow, like the card's just so good. The 1 Element Hero, Absolute Zero. This card is just brutal. This and another one that I'm going to show you in a second have the Mirror Confusion synergy. You Mirror Confusion into this and then Mass Change into Acid. You blow up the entire field basically because you're going to blow up the monsters and then you're going to blow up the back row with Acid. So really, really, really solid card. The other Mass Change target, Mirror Confusion target is Contrast Hero Chaos. Reason being is this card is actually really good if you use it correctly, and I just really like it, being able to go into it quite easily, to be honest, because you're going to be mass changing all over the place. They're all going to be in your grave, and you only require 2 for the Miracle Fusion. It's just a really solid card. So if people aren't running this and you're running Miracle Fusion, I would really just recommend trying it out at 1, because that's all you need. You don't need any more than 1, and it's just a really solid card in general, so I really like it. And then finally, the final masked hero is Koga, simply because we have Alias in here, and he can actually get quite beefy and get over a lot of different opponents' cards. So yeah, I really like him. He's quite nice. And there are a lot of light-based decks out there, so even if you snatch steal them and then mass change the second, it's all good. Xyz level 4, so we have the 1 Lavarval Chain just to fill up the graveyard or stack anything that we might want. The 1 Exeter Knight, because it's really standard, it's Exeter Knight. The 1 Excalibur, we run basically all warriors bar 2, and it's really easy to go into him. It's just nice to be able to punch over any annoying monsters like towers or anything like that, and being able to push the game is quite nice. Being able to inflict half damage to your opponent's life points just with this 1 attack, it's pretty good. The 1 Gandiva, this is just maybe for any mirror matches or Tellarknight matches, anything like that. It's a really solid card. A lot of people underestimate it, and then when they do, they kind of get boned over by it. The 1 Castel. Castel's just an incredible card this format, and just incredible in general. So yeah, great card. And then the final one is Abyss Dweller, because there's nothing like turning off all the graveyard effects, because, you know, it's great if you don't have the Dark Claw for that. So that is it, guys. I hope you did enjoy the deck profile. There's not really much to talk about Masked Heroes, if I'm honest, because it kind of runs itself. The cards in here are pretty solid. They're all nice, cheap budget. As I said, I got most of the cards out of the structure deck, bar maybe, I don't know, the Goplenbergs even. Oh no, the Goplenbergs probably might have been in there. No, they weren't, sorry. And, you know, the standards like the Snatch Steals and the Vanities, they all weren't in there. But, you know, about, I'd say 90% of the deck you can pick up from the structure deck. And it's just a really fun deck. It's actually not bad at all. So I want to know what you guys think of Masked Heroes. Do you think they're any good? Do you think Dark Claw is a bit of a bitch? And if you do, let me know down in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I shall catch you guys later.